The bubble ain't the time.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's really, it's a lot of math with it.
So you're a scientist now?
Well, when it comes to boiling water, because you have to wait like 3/10 of 4 minutes in order to get it just to the boiling point.
3/10 of 4 minutes?
Or 4/10.
4/10.
4/10. Sometimes I get a little confused.
Okay, 4/10.
But that's the proper time to boil.
Sometimes you get a little confused.
Sometimes I get a little confused. But that's what. So that don't talk about, because one, used to be a time people didn't have grease. Mm-hmm. All they had was water and fire.
Okay.
So boiling water, that's a major piece of cooking, and I do that quite well.
Okay.
Quite well.
I'll ask your wife. I'll tell you whether or not you can do that.
She know I can boil water.
Cat, she's in the studio. Cat, can your husband boil water?
What God has put
She
together,
said, don't try to put words in her mouth.
Nobody tear asunder. What God has put together.
Boy, you see what I'm saying?
Let no one tear
asunder. So you already answered the question. You can't boil water. Asunder? I don't know. I thought it was a splendor. I didn't know it was asunder to splendor.
Ashanda, Baba.
Watch it now. Watch yourself. Hold it. Now, hold yourself. Hold it. You Baptist, you're supposed to be talking in tongues.
Could have been a Honda.
Wait a minute. It could have been a Honda. It's a Chevrolet. But anyway, we're going to get to a serious topic here. Shannon and I, some days he Alipad, I'm Jose. Some days he Jose, I'm Alipad. I don't know. Somebody asked me that question. Which one?
We switch it up.
Yeah, so we switch it up.
How the wind blows.
Yeah, the wind blows.
Some days we be 2 Alipads
and 2 Jose. Just depending on what's going on that day.
Depending on what's happening.
Yeah. Shannon, I do want to talk about a couple of things. I do want to talk about Pastor Reverend Betty Holland Williams, who was the first female president of CBC. I want to send condolences to her family in the loss of a beautiful spirit, a beautiful woman. And of course, you are serving as the first vice president and over administration, and you had a chance to work with her real close. So you want to share some things about your co-worker, co-laborer in the vineyard? Absolutely.
Well, for the first time in 36 years, she became, we elected a first female president when America told Hillary no, and before they could tell Kamala yes, we heard from the Lord. And Betty Holland Williams is a preacher's preacher.
Oh man, God,
preacher's preacher.
She can really preach.
And she embodies the kind of battlefield theology that she preached about, and she believed in order. If there was, she might not have been the most political preacher, or she might not have been the greatest activist preacher, but what she brought to concerned black clergy was order. And it was as though the Lord knew that in this time that concern needed a woman. Because it takes a woman many times to put a house in order. It does not mean that's the only place for her, but a man can have a place to live, but women know how to make a home.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so she set the house in order, and protocol was extremely important to her, because men, we would allow any old thing to come on in the house. And she got in there and said, no, we get this out the house. This doesn't need to be in the house. We don't need to be doing this. We don't do that. Y'all ain't gonna disrespect this. And she put us on a footing of protocol. And everything that we did, she had this sense of excellence. That if we're gonna do it, if we're gonna do it, and I'm gonna be president, speaking of Betty Holland Williams, it was gonna be done within excellence, in a spirit of excellence. And she brought that to us. And we couldn't see that within 2 years that the Lord was going to bring her home. But the interesting thing is, and we say this many times in the Baptist church, protocol having been established. And I think that concerned black clergy is ready to move to the next phase, because she got the house in order and she established protocol. I'm gonna miss her, just her deep spirit and just the regularness by which we could just get together and laugh, you know. And I mean, she was hilarious, serious about the gospel, serious about the organization, serious about helping the least, the lost, the left out, and I say the left behind. But she knew how to have a good time. So many times people in our line of work wrestle with, you know, what to do when the cameras are off and the people aren't saying amen. And she knew how to power down and to just really enjoy life. She enjoyed living, and you saw that in her style. You saw that in the manner in which she dealt with people and how she conducted herself. And you saw that in the way that she could power us down and say, well, today we're just gonna laugh today. We're gonna laugh today, because laughter is very important to living.
Well, thank you so much, Shannon, for that. But you know what I can remember about her was I met her once she became the president. I didn't know her prior to, but her unique way of bringing the Word of God and making it so simple that even a child could understand it. I remember late Reverend Albert Love, when we had the mass rally here to get out to vote. She was the speaker, and boy, she brought down the house that night, because she was a dynamic speaker. And I loved her smile. I loved her personality. She had a warm personality. You know, I didn't know her, but it's like we had known each other for years, because she was just that kind of personable person. She was Natchez. I think she was in Natchez, Mississippi. And she talked about her grandmother and how her grandmother raised her, and how they used to go to the theater, and how they used to let them go up in the balcony and watch the movies. The grandmother worked there, and she told that story. And she was just a down-to-earth, real person. And I like that, because I like real people. I don't like phony plastic people, because plastic people are just who they are. They're plastic. So be who you are, because folks sure know who you ain't. Okay, that's why this is straight talk. So that's why Shannon and I just be who we are. I'm not eating today on the set because Shannon made sure, well, I ain't gonna say Shannon, I would say Claudia. That's my real friend. Claudia made sure, his wife made sure that I had plenty of food to eat before we got on the set. And I want to thank Claudia for that.
Because we couldn't get all that pasta and stuff off the screen that she spit all in the camera. Cheese and garlic bread off the camera. Now that people can see us. What happened? When they go, I can hear them, but I can't see them.
Woo, Lord have mercy. Pray for him, please.
So thank you, Katya.
You know, on another note, I want to talk about this thing with Mr. Ralston, who's the Speaker of the House, who's talking about changing the Constitution to have the Secretary of State to be an appointed position by the governor. I mean, and the House confirming who will be the Secretary of State. Now, I have a problem with that, and my problem with that is that the present governor, when he was Secretary of State, there was no conversation about him recusing himself from the office, or while he was running for the office of governor, when he was running his own election and running for governor at the same time.
Right.
But now that Mr. Ralston, who has been transparent, as far as we know and have seen in terms of this election, now because of that, he says, no, it's not because, it's not about him, it's about the office. Well, you didn't talk about that before, about the office. Why are you talking about the office? Now, we're not crazy. Now, don't think we're crazy, Mr. Ralston. Don't think we're crazy. Look, we woke up last night.
But yeah, we were born at night.
We were born at night, but not last night. Thank you so very much. Thanks.
We
were born. I wasn't born at night. You born at night?
I was born at 8:08 in the morning.
I was too. Why you said
my
that?
mama went into labor at night. I wasn't trying to come out here. I could see Trump and them was gonna be president. I said, hell no. Let me stay up in here. Send me back to heaven.
But listen, we weren't born yesterday. We did just fall off the wall in the truck. Okay. So we're not stupid enough to believe that your rationale for doing it is because Mr. Rawson is not the object of this move. When you did not make one statement, not one statement was made by any Republican or Democrat either, hardly about Mr. Kemp, or Governor Kemp, being the Secretary of State and running his own election and wouldn't step down. But now you want to do away, take Mr. Ralston and remove him out of his office and have somebody be appointed to be Secretary of State. Will they remove him if it passes, or will they have carry out the term that the people elected?
Well, you can't call a Secretary of State anymore. You have to call the Secretary of the General Assembly.
Oh, really?
Because it's
can it be Secretary of the Governor? Because the Governor
or the Secretary of the Governor, whatever. But you can't call the Secretary of the State because the state didn't vote for him. So, and I don't know how that's going to be a constitutional officer if we didn't vote that officer in. Can you tell? Don't we vote for a lieutenant governor, the governor? Don't we vote for the attorney general? Don't we vote for the treasurer?
Right.
So I don't know how that is, but you know what they're up to. They said that a fair election was a theft election, but now what they're getting ready to do is perfect the thievery that they gave us in 2018, when, as you said, the governor managed the whole election and ran for office in the election that his office was supposed to be managing from a nonpartisan standpoint.
Right.
But you know,
but you managing your own election.
How can you so that was the theft.
That was a big
the theft. But they're gonna perfect it now, and now try to make that. But I hope that the people of Georgia, man, are smarter than that. I hope that they don't vote for that.
I think what we have to do is, this is what we're gonna have to do. You got to go back and think about OSD. We got to think about OSD when they wanted to make this felon school superintendent, create a felon school superintendent, make it constitutional officer under Casey Cagle, who was the governor at that time, and the Georgians voted it down resoundingly throughout the whole state. They said no. But then they get in the back room and they come up with a resolution or something to make that office an office that is a felon school superintendent. Now, do you know what that felon school superintendent do? Do you know what that felon school superintendent name is? Do you know how much money that felon school superintendent make? Do you know how large a budget that felon superintendent has? You do not know anything.
That role.
You don't know anything. But and that was my problem with Stacey Abrams. I said it. That was my problem with her, because she got in the back room and cut a deal with him to get that resolution passed. When the Georgians said across the state, we don't want it. We don't want it. We want it. We don't want that. We ain't gonna have that. And then you go in the back room and you get in the back room and you cut a deal to be able to do that. I have a problem with that. When the will of the people speak, that's what we're supposed to go with. Is what the will. You may not agree with the will of the people, because God knows when Mr. Trump won, I didn't agree with the will of the people, and there were many people that didn't agree with the will of the people. But he was our president. He was, because the will of the people spoke. A lot of help from Russia, but you had to digress on Russia, then you did. but the will of the people spoke, and so he was and still is our president until Mr. Biden is sworn in.
No, you didn't hear the latest news.
What?
Oh no, they're getting ready to have martial law. They're gonna have a whole nother election.
What?
Yeah, they're not getting out. This man ain't trying to leave. He about to have martial law. They had a meeting on Friday. The boy he pardoned, the one that was in the deal with the Russians and lied to Congress, and he went to jail, and the president pardoned him. Now he's got to ear the president again. What's the general's name?
Start with F. I know you're talking about. You know, it escapes me. I'm getting older now.
He's an F.
Yeah.
But anyway, this general now is advising the president and said that he's within his right to have martial law, bring tanks and military, U.S. military, put them on American streets and force another election. Friday. I mean, it's in the news. So no, he ain't trying to just walk away.
Flynn. Thank you so very much. Flynn. That's his name. We need her every week.
Flynn, yeah. Flynn will make you sin. Mr. President, Flynn will make you sin.
Oh yeah. Well, but see the chaos that he continuously pushes and the confusion. And you know, the Bible tells us that Satan is the author of confusion.
Yes, he is.
And he is just creating more and more confusion. And I would say this: if the senators, the Congress, even though they say he is within his rights, if they allow him to pull that trump card and destroy this country, because it will destroy this country, then there is no electoral process. Every one of them need to step down, and they need to give us our money back too. All the money they making off of us buying, they got 2-3 houses that we paying for, flights that they going to, hotels that they going to. They need to give us our money back. Maybe if they give us the part of our money back, we won't be getting a $600 stimulus. We can get a real stimulus.
$600.
$600 stimulus. But I'm proud of Kwanzaa though, aren't you?
I am.
I'm proud of Kwanzaa. He said he was going to get that, he was going to do that, and he's doing it. And he's keeping us informed, keeping Georgians informed. I'm proud of him about that. But
we didn't know what you could do in 30 days.
30 days.
He said America $600 a piece. Every American, you can do that in 30 days.
Well, you know what? I put it like this right here. He can vote that they get something, we get something.
Yeah.
And he was dead on it. He was dead on it. He was dead on it. He said he was going to be on it, and he's dead on it. But getting back to that $600 now. Getting back to that $600. For those who got the 12, they won't be able to get them a car this time. They'll just be.
Is that what it was, all them cars?
Yeah, all them cars, all them drive-by tags. After that stimulus check came.
They got them cars?
They got them cars. They buy here, pay here.
And take it in, you go to the grocery store and you see all them tow trucks taking all them cars away.
Because after that stimulus check, that was it, buddy. That was it. That was it. But you know, I am really serious when I say this, is that the American people have been duped and being duped over and over again by this party politics.
Yeah.
This party politics has got to go. When they talk about a party system and people voting down the party line, but they're not voting the interests of the people, that's problematic. People elect you to vote their interest. They don't elect you to vote what the party's interest is. Because if the party's interest ain't the same interest as the people, then that's no good.
Yeah.
It ain't no good. Why we elect you? Why do we stand in long lines? Why do we raise the coal and all of that, and then we do all of this, and then you turn around and get up there and do what you want to do with the party and forget us, your constituents, and want to come back and give us a proclamation? For a great job that we're doing in the community, or come there and as preachers, we want to lift them up like they the great I ams, right. I am, and they ain't hitting on nothing.
And you don't see them but once every 4 years.
And once every 4 years. Unless they come down to the King Day celebration,
right.
And they all sitting down in the King Day in that one section, in the King Day stuff. But they won't be able to sit that this year. They won't be able to do that this year. Some of them going to be certainly disappointed.
What do I do today?
What I do today? What I do today? They'll be trying to find channel 2, 5, 46, so they can say something about it. I would be there, but you know this. COVID, it's got all of us, quarantined, but I am sick and tired of seeing all these commercials. I don't know about you. I am sick and tired of seeing all these commercials.
One thing I can't stand more than the Steelers is all these political commercials.
Oh man. You said one thing you can't stand more than who?
The Steelers. Because,
You ought to say that about the Falcons, because they're the one parents. You need to deal with the one that buried. You want to deal with somebody that's alive. You can't stand the one that's alive.
But the commercials are terrible. Let's change the subject. Let's get back on what you said. I'm going to keep you on track.
Oh, you're going to keep me on track when you went there.
Can't stand, But another thing about the commercials, and this is my problem, and I read an article today that some preachers wrote a letter to Kelly Loeffler, put it in the press, black preachers, saying that she's attacking the black church.
Right.
That's the way we preach.
It is.
In our churches.
It is.
And when the slave master would turn to Paul and say, "Slave, obey your master," we would go down to the hush harbor, and we would turn back to Exodus and say, God told Moses to tell Pharaoh to let my people go. So what they're doing is taking his words out of context. Now, Kelly Loeffler did something interesting. She ignored the preachers and said, Raphael Warnock, you need to explain what you are saying, even though she's taking it out of context and taking it. You know, we get it on Sunday morning, if you do that to any of us, you know, because we preach prophetically.
Right.
So, you know, you can find something. But she said he needs to apologize. She ignored the preachers. Then they found 2 Jewish rabbis who came out and said they felt that he was anti-Semitic. I worked for him 12 years. I can tell you he's not anti-Semitic. But Rabbi Lesser here in Atlanta said those 2 don't even know him. Lesser said, I know Raphael Warnock. I've worked with him, this, that, and the other. Been knowing him for 12 years. And he said that he's the farthest thing from anti-Semite, and that he never would believe that he's anti-Israel. But there are 100 rabbis that have come out to support
Lethbridge.
Raphael Warnock.
Okay, good.
100
good.
Because they understand that liberation is tradition.
Right.
That when you allow dictators.
Oh, like Mr. Trump is trying to become?
Because dictators grow into Hitlers.
Right.
you know, and they just run amok. So I'm just, you know, I've been watching this because I'm like, this woman, literally they're running a campaign saying that basically all of us black folk that sit in these churches, Bishop, and preach in these churches, that we're radical socialists that want to tear this thing. How damn dare you?
Whoa, goodness, you didn't use that word on that program. No, he did not use that word on that program. You? Oh my God.
To say that we who died building this country, that we would be anti-America, when we've been the ones that have given our lives to this country.
The last one hired and the first one fired, and the one that paid the less wages. And then you go, man, please.
And have forced this nation to, as Dr. King said, be true to what you put on paper.
Be true to that.
Be true to yourself. And now she gonna sit there and turn around and demonize all of us. I got a problem with that. I'm waiting on that commercial.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this right here now. I'm gonna just tell you this right here so you'll know.
And damn, it's in the Bible.
I'd be damn if it's in the Bible. It is?
Use a cussing something.
Okay.
It's in there once. Okay. Not all them damn. You said 2 damn. I said 1 damn. You said 2 damn.
Okay. Well. But anyway, everybody know how I am anyway. Jose was a cussing preacher.
Damnation.
but the reality of it is that when you start talking about preachers preaching the message of liberation, the message of hope, the message of deliverance, that's who we are. And we're not preaching hope to our people who are despaired, who can't get no medicine, can't get no health care, get paid the less, living in poverty. I mean, all these things that our people are dealing with as black people, and then you saying we can't give them hope. We can't give them insurance when God gave Moses the message to tell the Pharaoh to let the people go. And that's what give us what we supposed to have. Do right by us. And that's all the message is do right. Because you say you want to see, I think we serve 2 different gods.
Definitely.
I mean, their God is the God of material, money, and wealth. And to use people to continue to get richer, to create generational wealth for their children and their grandchildren. And that's what they preach. That's what they teach. They talk about love, but where is the love? You know that song, the New Jersey, I want to know what love is, the New Jersey man. I want to know what it is when it comes to these so-called conservative Republicans. And some of them are black because they think they done arrived because they got a little more money. But let me just say that to you who got a little more money. We know that some people sure act funny when they get a little money. Yes, they do, y'all. But let me just tell you this, though, so you'll understand. Bill Cosby had a lot of money, but where is he? I mean, we got to look at those people that were black who thought that they had it going on. Condoleezza Rice. Come on, we can go on and go on and on and on and on. But look, where are they? They used them and then they put them back out in the field. Back out in the field. Same thing. So we as black preachers, if we don't preach the gospel, if we don't preach the truth, if we don't give our people hope, and the only hope that we have is in Jesus. That's the only hope. That's the only hope my grandmama had, my great-grandmama had, my mama had. And that's the only hope we have is in Jesus, right? So, you know, if you want to attack black preachers, Ms. Lethbridge, go ahead on. Because black preachers will show you what we'll do on election day.
That's right, Kelly Leffler.
I want to let you know that, Mr. Leffler. We'll let you know
right.
what we're doing. You ain't just attacking him, you're taking all
Our
of
tradition.
us. Yeah, you can't
tradition.
do that. So we start attacking your tradition with your wealthy self. You got that big mansion and the richest person that is in the Senate and Congress.
Kat was telling me, my wife.
Kat?
Yeah, she was talking about all this stock that as soon as the vote was done, that she had dumped like 300,000 stock or something, pieces of stock. And she said it was millions and millions of dollars that she went and made money on this on COVID. As soon as they got that information, she went and dumped all the. David Perdue did the same thing.
Yeah, what about the marijuana though? That she put her money over there that marijuana now. I mean, they cutting them deals. They cut all of them deals up there, and then they just want to give you $600, me $600, and then they debate and argue about what kind of peanuts they gonna give us.
Yeah.
Crumbs from the rich man table. That's what they want to give us.
And we know that. We preach about that.
Yeah, we do. And that's what they don't like, because we speak in truth to power. And they don't like that. And that's what he preaching, truth to power.
Yeah.
And they don't want, so they go out and pull out little segment of his truth to power messages and say, see, look here, y'all, he's a radical. He's a liberal. He's a liberal radical. He's a socialist. That's what he is. He's a socialist.
Yeah. She could do the same thing to Martin Luther King. I mean, she could cut up some of his sermons and do to him what many people try to do, because they called him a communist, they called him a socialist.
They did?
That she could do that to them.
Yeah, but the only thing about that, he wasn't running for office.
Can a prophet run for office?
You know what, I'm going to tell you like this right here. The most powerful preacher, the person I know it is in the black community, Reverend Abernathy told me as a young preacher, is the black preacher, because we got the voice, and we got the voice of the community. We look out for it. Watchman, word of the night. Watchman, word of the night. We the watchman sitting on the wall. So that's what he's doing. He's the watchman sitting on the wall, and he's crying out, the British is coming, the British is coming. He's letting people know what's going on. So listen, you heard of the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere?
Yeah.
Now you heard of the Midnight Ride of Raphael Warnock.
Yeah. Yeah.
The British is coming. He's talking about health care. He's talking about stuff that's going on. And then, but she said, man, it what really got me shot at. Boy, when she said that he wanted to give tax breaks to middle class people. I said, no, you didn't.
Exactly.
No, you didn't say that.
Exactly.
The richest woman up there on Wall Street talking about he's going to give tax break to middle class people. Every middle class person need a tax break. We ain't even got no middle class no more. They did away with the middle class.
You got to find them to give them a tax break.
And then he's talking about raising the minimum wage to bring people up. And you're not. Maybe
that's why our whole basketball team said vote for Warnock.
Oh yeah, she ain't paying them nothing. She don't respect them, and they ain't respecting her back.
Yeah.
No, Shannon, we can. This stuff is just real talk. But I want to digress just a little bit. I got a clip from one of my members about the runoff and how that runoff thing came up about. I don't know if you know the history of that. I forget the guy's name. He was a senator back, a state representative back in '63 or something like that, when blacks started winning offices and all this kind of stuff. And what happened was he lost his election. Then when he came back, he won, and he changed the rule to have runoffs. So that there would be a runoff, so you'd have to have 50% plus one. Now, you know they talking about doing away with runoffs too now. That you're clear-cut winner.
Yeah.
They're trying to do that too. Everything that they set up so black folks couldn't win, now black folks winning, now they trying to change the rules.
As soon as we get it, they move the goalposts. Soon as we say, okay, we got it, they change the game again.
Oh man, it's just sad.
But I believe God is on the side of the righteous.
I know.
And I believe in this election. I believe that there's a clear evil that is at foot here. And I'm gonna say this to everybody: if you love America and you love the Lord, you need to really open your eyes to see what is at stake here, because evil is running amok. It's running amok, and evil always goes too far.
one of the things that we both are ministers that talked about the Antichrist. The Bible talked about the Antichrist, and people have itching ears and running after every wind of doctrine. Mm-hmm. And we see the Antichrist in the President of the United States. Mm-hmm. I mean, he doesn't care about God. He doesn't love the Lord. Mm-hmm. How can he care? How can he care about people when he doesn't have a fear of God and don't acknowledge God as being the deity? In his mind, I am the deity. I am the power. I am the Almighty. I'm the great all. You know, I mean,
I alone can fix it.
I alone can fix it. I mean, how can you think about putting military people in the street
of America?
Of America, making us a third world country. How can you even think about that when the founding fathers found this country under freedom? Mm-hmm. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom to be able to say what you want to say without being
hung and beheaded.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So now you want to change the whole Constitution,
exactly,
to benefit you and your, I won't say monarchy because you won't be a king, but your dictatorship, mm-hmm. to be a dictator, because you want to dictate who go to jail, who die, who live, how much money people get, how much food you want to be able to issue out food to people. Yeah. I mean, this COVID that people haven't seen from this COVID, now you want to now talk about the stimulus money ain't enough. Well, you could have gave them the money before the election, but you said you were wait until after the election. Mm-hmm. You said now you want to issue out money the way you want to issue it out. You want to issue out rations of food the way you want to issue out. You got some, you don't have any. So now you got people in the street fighting over food, fighting over water, killing each other over things that we ought to be able to have and enjoy because we are the land of plenty. Mm-hmm. But you want to ration it out. Now we're talking about rationing out the vaccine. You know what I mean? We're rationing it out for people, you know. And some people are scared to take the vaccine and others are not. But let me just say my 2 cents about the vaccine. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For me, one, I'm going to take it. I'll tell you that right now. When they start giving it to the people of my age group, I'm taking it. I am. And I'll tell you why I'm going to take it. I'm taking it because one is that I don't believe that anything coming against me that God don't want to come against me, it ain't going to prosper. I believe in the word of God said no weapon formed against me shall prosper in Isaiah. I believe in it. I took, as a kid, they gave us the polio shot and the measles shot and all those shots, and I'm still here. And people were saying it wasn't a good thing then, but I'm still here. 70 years later, I'm still here. Don't know how many more days I got, but I'm still here. But the reality of it is I really think that if they're giving these shots and somebody's calling, we're not taking calls today, not right now. Shannon is on the road. But if you know, I mean, I think that we ought to rely upon the scientists. If we taking high blood pressure pills, we don't know whether or not they work, but we're willing to do it. We're taking the diabetes pill, we're taking all these things because the doctor says it's good for us, so we're doing it. Why not take the shot? You know, why not take the shot? There are people taking all kinds of pills. You don't know if the pill is good for you or not. But the doctor said, take this pill and you'll get better, and you take it. Some people taking 10, 15 pills, different pills.
Take a shot.
But the doctor,
and then that shot.
I ain't taking that. I don't know what's in the shot. You don't know what's in that pill.
But you know what's in that metformin.
Yeah, okay, yeah, right. The same company that's making those pills are the same company that's making the vaccine for the shot. But you're taking it.
Well, let me make news.
Okay, make news. Are you going to take the shot?
Let me make news.
Oh, Lord have mercy. You're a young boy.
I had told my congregation that I would watch the science and see what happens to those that took the shot. Read the study. I needed to hear more black scientists whom I trust, more so than because Pence took the shot. Did Pence take the shot or was that a water shot? I don't know. But this is serious, and COVID is impacting us seriously. So I told my congregation I would do that. I said that if I talked to my physician. If he told me he and his family took it, I trust my physician who treats my entire family, treats my parents, treats my brothers and me. I said that I would take it. So as I have watched it and looked at it, I'm at a place now where I can say I will be taking
Okay.
the vaccine. Now, the shots you took, the polio shots, you still here, but they made you crazy as hell. Whatever shot, one of the shots.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you what made me the way that I am today. Dealing with Hager's children. Dealing with Hager's children. That's what made me.
See, I took the shot. I'm still here. I'm crazy.
I'm still here. Dealing with Hager's children, they'll run you crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's something about Hager's children. They will run you crazy. And I pray for your wife regular. Amen. But you know,
Shannon blessed them French fries.
Yes, Lord. Yeah, Lord. But then, listen, we one other topic I want to talk about before we get off.
Well, we gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go.
Too much fun.
Yeah, we gotta go. But one more topic I want to talk about. You know, as we're ending this year and moving into a brand new year. I don't, you know, many people gonna be prophesizing. This is the year for the liberation. This is the year for deliverance. This is the year for this. This year. I ain't gonna prophesy no lies.
I see a truck in your future.
I ain't gonna prophesy no lies. I ain't gonna prophesy no lies. I ain't gonna prophesy no lies. T-shot, nah. Come on out of that.
If you see a new truck, you heard it here.
Come on up out of that. But you mean the one that's out there?
It's already out there.
But I, on a serious note, as we're going into a new year, I want to give people some assurances and some hope. I know that there are people who are saying, some people have said, I wish I'd never been born. In this time. I mean, life is still a dirty deal to me. It's a wonderful life, after all, with Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed. That tells it all. And if you haven't seen it, I recommend you do see it. He is a wonderful man doing good things for his community. But one mistake made by his uncle, the whole town turned against him. And sometimes people who you think are with you, they won't be with you.
My.
But God never will leave you, never forsake you. Say, I'll be with you always. And if you watch that movie, what happened to George Bailey, that's what the character name was, and how he wanted to give up and wanted to commit suicide and was going to commit suicide. But God had an angel by the name of Clarence who came and showed him the light, showed him that there's hope even in darkness. And George Bailey made a decision, I want to live. And when he made that decision to live, his whole life turned around. God got an angel for you. He's got an angel for me. He's got an angel for all of us. Don't give up hope. Just keep lifting your eyes into the hills from which comes your help, knowing that all of your help comes from the Lord in this new year. You may not have a whole lot of money. You may not have a whole lot of so-called friends, but you need a whole lot of Jesus. In 2021, he is your help and your helper. Keep the faith.
Keep looking up. I think that's wonderful. I remember the end of that movie, the little girl rung the bell and said, teacher said, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. And I know that the Lord's angels have been with us and have kept us and will see us through in 2021. So keep the faith, as Daddy King would say, and keep looking up.
Well, we thank you so much, Shannon. You've said your parting remarks. Can I get Carter just to say something? You don't mind?
Merry Christmas.
Can I get Carter to say something?
Oh, come on, dude.
Carter, can't you just say something, Carter? Just say something. They ain't got to see you. They can just hear you.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all.
Did y'all hear?
You got to say it when you're hollering at me.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all.
Shannon has a beautiful wife, and she is a great spirit, and she is my friend. I tolerate him because of Carter. Hey, y'all, I'll see you Monday. Well, I'll see you next week.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year. And don't forget to watch Straight Talk. Share this with your friends on YouTube. And you can also share it on our page here. God bless you and heaven smile upon you. And God bless America.
Is our prayer.
Hey everybody, Reverend Warnock here, and I can't tell you how deeply honored I am to be running for the United States Senate in our great state of Georgia, where I was born, raised, and educated. I'm grateful for you and for the support that I feel all across this state, but I'm especially grateful for the work and the ways in which the faith community is having to show up and stand up in this defining moment in American history. We're dealing with a once-in-a-century global pandemic that has taken lots of lives, over 300,000 Americans, and it has created an economic turndown that is taking livelihoods. People have lost their jobs. Many of the folks in our congregations and in other places who were serving others last year are themselves in need of being served. I know that many of you are being called upon, like me and my congregation, to do more and more. And so thank you for showing up. Thank you for being the light that shines in the darkness. And thank you for your support for this campaign and movement. Please know that I am fighting for health care because I believe it's a human right. I'm fighting for a livable wage because I think we shouldn't call people essential workers and not pay them an essential wage. I'm fighting for voting rights. And all of this is informed by the spirit of the prophet who said, "He has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require but that you do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God?" And so let us stand up together in this defining moment in our state and in American history. Let's make sure that we vote and everybody in our circle turns out to vote. You can verify your registration. You can find your polling location by going to iwillvote.com, or you can go to sos.ga.gov. Whatever you do, make sure that you vote and everybody in your circle votes. I believe that a vote is a kind of prayer for the kind of world that we want to see. And our prayers are stronger when we pray together. So let's vote together. God bless you. Keep the faith and keep looking up.
Join us each week right here on Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shannon E. Jones. And again, if you'd like to be a guest, all you have to do is email us at straighttalk1362@gmail.com. Or you can call area code 404-308-0795. That's area code 404-308-0795. It's Straight Talk.
Invite your Facebook and social media friends to check us out on Straight Talk with Greg Fann.